A lot of times there are going to be people who randomly hit you up and just like say they want to make friends or something with you, right? You gotta know that and be aware of the fact that nobody's gonna hit you up or try to talk to you if they don't see any benefit in you. Because um, some people might think that's wrong to think that way, but a lot of times friendships and relationships are just a business transaction between people. You know, nobody is going to try to talk to you or get to know you unless they see that you have something that they can gain. And the reason I want to talk about this is because if you're aware of this, then whenever somebody hits you up or tries to talk to you, you know that first of all they might have a little conversation, get to know you a little better, but just expect something that they will ask you and try to get out of you. Now that's not very bad thing, and that you shouldn't immediately not trust those people because you can actually use this in your advantage. If the person sees that you have value, then you already know that you are somewhat important to them, right? And if you are somewhat important to them, you should look at that person and see if that you can gain value from them. And none of this have to be like shady or fake or anything like this. Like a lot of people who are like in their 20s understand that, hopefully understand that nobody really hangs out with anybody unless they gain some sort of thing from each other, right? It only becomes fake if you use the person, like, one person uses the other person and doesn't give something back, so for example, you have a friend that always buys you things, right? Gives you stuff, always like looks out for you, but you only take, and you don't give anything back. Then yeah, you're pretty much fake. Or there's another one. Sometimes people will purposely give you something to gain advantage because there is a psychological trick that if you give something to someone, they feel like they're obligated to give something back to you. So there are people who actually give you things to manipulate you in the future. So they will giving you things like, whatever it is, and then in the future they will start asking you questions to do favors for them, and the favors you might not even want to do, but you kind of feel like you're obligated to do it because you have received the gifts from them before. So watch out for this too. It can go both ways. But what I'm saying, go back to the point, is that don't be scared to try and find value in another person who is trying to use you for your value. They might have very good intentions, because they might either try to learn something from you or they might try to get something from you. But if you know you can get something back from them without losing too much, if there is like a transaction is like 50-50, or like, I don't know, 65 to 45, wait, no, I mean 55 to 45, then yeah, it's still valid. But if you can't gain much from the other person, but the person can gain from you the most, then that's when you should already pay attention and see if you want to go along with it. Do not get trapped in it for too long, because in most cases it's not going to work out. And most of the time, people actually feel it. When somebody talks to you for the first time, you can feel in your gut that like there is some sort of either agenda behind it or some sort of cause, and you can feel it and deep down, but a lot of times people ignore it. So you can either ignore it completely and then find out the hard way, or you can be aware of that, know that there's an agenda behind the person's conversation, and either reject it and not see the potential that it could, like the potential of the conversation, where it could go or what could happen with that person. Maybe it's a network. Networking is great. But yeah, basically that's what I wanted to talk to. But don't be afraid to dig into the person. If you see they want value out of you, try to get value out of them as well, because that way you're going to benefit from each other. And you don't have to be best friends or anything like that. Just if you just network with people, you will never know when the person comes in handy, and they also never know when you come in handy, because people have value whether you know it or not. So if somebody tries to get something out of you, they see value in you, Or they just see that you have money, but that's a different story. I'll see you in another video.